welcome back to my channel. How are you today? Today I wanted to kind of sit down and make an updated 2020 tattoo tour video. If you have been a long time viewer, you know that I've already made one of these a long time ago when I first started my channel, but I was kind of shy then. I kind of didn't really know how to act on camera. I was kind of nervous, and I also have a lot of new people coming to my channel every day. A lot of people are asking things that could be answered by watching that video, but I feel like, you know, not everyone's gonna like go and like look through all of my videos that I've ever made just to find one answer to one question. So I thought, why not just kind of refresh your memory, refresh, you know, that video, and just kind of make a new one. So what I'm gonna do is basically show you a lot of pictures of me when I was younger and when I was getting these tattoos done. So there's gonna be a lot of baby Sarah here today, as well as telling you a little bit of a story behind these tattoos, and also kind of why I got them, as well as a pain scale with every single one. And also I went on my Instagram and I asked you guys to send me any questions that you might have that kind of relate to any of my body modifications and anything like that. So without further ado, let's just get right into this. So the first thing that I wanted to show you was me without any tattoos, and I don't really have many pictures of myself from back then, but there's I'm gonna put some here, a few that I can find where I basically don't have my chest piece, don't have these very visible ones that you can see, and it's kind of weird to look back on, especially now. I also used to have a majority kind of like piercings rather than tattoos. Even once I turned kind of 18, I was still in that piercing phase just before my tattoo phase really took over. So I actually used to have 2 microdermal piercings, and if you don't know what a microdermal is, it's basically when a nice lady at a piercing shop lays you down and then has a scalpel and cuts into your skin and then kind of slides in a piercing underneath. It's a surface piercing, it's right under the skin. Let me just correct myself here, it wasn't actually a scalpel, it was a puncher. So she basically takes out like a circle size of your skin so that she can insert the metal plate underneath your skin. I thought it was a scalpel, clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, she was the puncher. And when I was going in to get it done, she was like, you know that it's gonna grow out, right? Because your skin regenerates every, I think, month or something like that. So eventually, if something's quite deep in, it's just gonna come to the surface, and eventually your body's just gonna pull it out, because it's like a foreign body, right? It's not gonna cause any infections, anything like that. But just like if you had, for example, a grain of sand under your skin, or maybe if you were one of the people who got stabbed in the thigh with a pencil in primary school and the lead's still in there, chances are at one point or another your skin after years is just gonna plop that right out, because it's just new skin regenerating. So I was like, that's fine, you know, as long as it's in there for a couple of years. I just think they're really cool. So that's what I had done, and I absolutely loved them. And again, I'm gonna try and find a picture of what they looked like. I used to rock a big one on the bottom. It was right in the middle of my chest here, like that. So it was like a big red one, a big pink one here, and like a silver or like another little pink one here, and I just thought they were beautiful. Also, as I said, I was gonna give a pain rating to every single thing. So for my microdermals in my chest, I would say definitely a 10 out of 10. It was extremely painful, mainly because she had to cut me with a scalpel, and then she had to like wiggle them under my skin while I was bleeding, and it really wasn't good. I actually sat there quietly crying, and so she gave me a discount as well, because she just felt so bad for putting me through so much. So definitely a 10 out of 10. Would not recommend. Would I get them done again? Probably, because I think they're beautiful, but it is painful. Also, another fun fact, just as I told you about my dermal piercings, I also used to have a lip piercing, and I'm actually thinking about bringing it back. I really like it. Unfortunately, the person pierced it kind of off center, so it didn't look too great in person, but I think I'm gonna get it re-pierced. I just really think they're cute. And I also used to have my nose pierced, but it didn't suit me at all. It was on this side and I still have the scar, and I just took it out. But again, it's one of those where I think maybe I should get like a fake one to try it out, because I kind of really love it, but I'm just undecided. But then I started getting tattooed, and I can't really remember the order that I got tattooed in. I do know that I was underage when I got my first tattoo. I was 17, and I actually got it again. If you watched my last video about my tattoos, you will know I was a young kid. I was about 16 going on to 17, and I had a group of friends in college, UK college, that were turning 17 and 18, and they were like, oh, for my 18th birthday I'd love a tattoo. And I was the only one that was like quite into piercings and body mods at the time, and I was like, in my head I was like, I want to be the first one who gets something done. I just couldn't, do you know what I mean? Like, I was such a stupid kid, but I just couldn't get it through into my head that like I needed to be the first one out of the whole group to have a tattoo. Like, I just couldn't let it, you know, go. So I went to a tattoo artist that my friend knew. I borrowed money from her and I got my first tattoo, and this is my first tattoo. I knew that I probably wouldn't like it, and I knew that I was going to probably get it covered, so I wanted something really small, nothing too big, but I actually still really like it. It did bleed a little bit, you can probably tell, but I still really love it. There's no particular meaning behind it, I just thought it was really cute. And in terms of my first ever tattoo on the ribs, I didn't feel it. I thought it was perfectly fine, and I would probably give it a 3 out of 10. However, my boyfriend has a much larger piece in the same area and he said it was the worst thing ever. So personally, to me, it was a 3, maybe just because it's so small. For him, around the same area, probably the size of my hand, he said that it was like a 8 to a 10. Now, in terms of my other tattoos, I'm gonna start going sort of from my feet upwards. So I'm gonna start with my foot, and I actually had some Greek writing on my foot, right on the sort of side of my foot, and it was in ancient Greek, and it was just really motivational for me. We actually got it while I was in Greece. I was thinking about it a long time before, but then we went to Greece when I was younger, and I actually made some friends that were quite local to this little village, and I actually gave it to them and I said, what does it say? Because you know those stories where people go and get like a different tattoo in a different language and it ends up saying something like chicken wings and take out noodles or something like that, you know what I mean? Like those kind of horror stories. I didn't want to be one of those people, but then actually someone said like, yeah, that's what it means. So I was like, brilliant. So I came home and I got it done. The only thing was that because it was script, it was rubbing off my feet constantly because I had socks on, I had shoes on, and I had to get it touched up. I didn't mind that because the artist could do it for free, and she was like, I don't mind doing it. However, after a while it just started kind of looking like untidy because some bits would have been rubbed out and then done over again, some bits would have been kind of a bit bolder, the writing would have been a bit wonky. So I was like, you know what, I just need to cover this up and then get it redone somewhere else. So that's what I did, and I got it covered up with this beautiful deer piece, and it's a skull of a deer and it's just wonderful, and the flowers go over and cover the writing really well. At this point in time I haven't got the writing redone anywhere just because I've kind of forgotten and I just didn't get around to doing it. I would love to get it done again. I probably will, maybe if Corona kind of settles down or leaves us alone, I probably would, but at the same time I'm not that bothered, but I do really like it. So for this one I would say the side, the actual writing on the side was probably like a 3 out of 10, but then the top of your foot where it's just kind of bone, that was disgusting and I had to take breaks, and I would say that was like a good solid 7.5 out of 10 in terms of the pain. Now going up my leg I have a bit of script. That was actually my second ever tattoo, I believe, or maybe third one, and it is on my thigh, and it says she believed she could, so she did. Again, this is why you should wait till your taste kind of settles as a tattoo collector before you start getting tattoos, or maybe potentially do what I did, which is get little ones, and then if they're shit like this one, you can easily get it covered up. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. I don't hate it, but I just think it's so white girl cringy. But again, I was like 17, I thought it was the coolest, so you know, it's kind of funny to look back on now and be like, gosh, what were you thinking? I really would love to cover this one up. I would love to get maybe like a religious scene or like something really kind of spiritual on it. I'm not really sure what, but I'm really digging kind of Renaissance paintings and like things like that. I just feel they're beautiful, so maybe something like that, or maybe something completely different. I'm not sure yet, but it's definitely gonna go. Again, don't know when, but definitely gonna go. Pain rating for that one would probably be like a 5. The only reason is that it was quite small, so it was quite quick. It was probably like half an hour to 45 minutes to get it done, and the only unpleasant thing was that I could actually feel it in my toes because I'm guessing of the nerve endings, I'm not sure, but I could feel it in my feet and I really didn't like it. So going up again on my hip slash starting on my tummy, I have a hand that is holding hair like this kind of thing. It's just holding a bunch of hair, and in Polish underneath it says "obwos," and basically means by a hair, and it's kind of the same thing as like by the skin on your teeth. Essentially it just means you got very lucky, and I'm generally a very lucky person. There's things in my life that I have done that should have fucked me over forever that have actually turned out to be really good for me. Loads of things, loads of examples, but I basically have decided that I am an extremely lucky person, and I don't know why, but I'm just, you know, I just am. And so I got it tattooed just to sort of remember that, like, you know, don't lose hope, because you never know, you might just do it, like it might just happen for you. So that's what I got, and I absolutely love it. And the pain scale for this one, I would say probably like 5 maybe. Going up just above my belly button, I have a tattoo that I've actually designed myself, and I really wanted something to just kind of show off my love for coffee, because I absolutely love coffee. I'm a big coffee drinker. I definitely treat it as part of my personality when I shouldn't, but I absolutely love coffee. So I kind of wanted something melting into a coffee pot or like a coffee cup, and so I came up with, of course, just a skull melting into the coffee. And then I saw on Pinterest that there was a tattoo of like a skeleton wearing a bucket hat, and I was like, that's fucking mint. Absolutely like incorporate that into my tattoo. So I'm going to show you what I sent to the tattoo artist, and I'm going to show you what she made out of that, because she's incredibly talented. Unfortunately the letters are kind of faded and they didn't kind of heal properly. My boyfriend's actually got the same one and his healed perfectly, so it might have just been something that I've done. Maybe I've caught it, or maybe I didn't heal it properly, so the letters definitely need going over, but I absolutely love it. It's like one of my favourite tattoos, and that one I would probably say it's like a 7.5 out of 10, just because of kind of where it is and how long it took. Your skin just kind of gets so tired and raw and like red, and you just want to be done with it. But if it was a smaller tattoo, in terms of just where the place is and how painful it is, I'd say probably like a 5, so it's not too bad at all. Now going up again, right under my boobs, I have 2 tattoos that are probably some of my favourite ones, if not my absolute favourite ones, and one of them says "not yours" and one of them says "erotica," and I absolutely, like, I just love them so much. I think they're so simple, and the story behind them is that I kind of just wanted to feel like, even though I'm quite a sensual person, even though, you know, if you go on my Instagram you can see that the poses I do, and like I'm not a very shy, reserved, conservative like girl, like I'm quite out there. And I kind of just wanted to keep it in mind that no matter how promiscuous a person can be, that doesn't mean that they belong to anyone, that doesn't mean that they can be owned, that doesn't mean anything, that doesn't mean that society now gets to name them whatever they want. So it's kind of like, remember that even though I can, you know, be with you or I can be sensual with you, you don't own me, it's not yours. It's not yours to, you know, judge, it's not yours to speak upon, because I'm my own person. So I really love those, and probably my favourite ones, and I also forget about them all the time. Like, I don't even remember that I've got them. Like, sometimes I'm just like, no, I've got like 2 tattoos on my chest, like that's it. And then they kind of creep up on you. So yeah, but I absolutely love them. And then of course my most prominent one, the one that was probably second worst in terms of pain, if not the first one, was the snake, and I absolutely love him. And I'm going to show you some pictures where it's kind of half done and also pictures where it's fully done. I love it so much. I had it done in 2 separate sessions because I couldn't handle the pain. The first session was 3 hours, and then the next session I think was 3 hours. It was a very chilled session though. It was a guest tattooist, and now that I look back on it, I'm like, did that tattoo actually really, should it have taken 6 hours to do? Or was I just getting a little bit scammed? But regardless, I really love it. I love the pattern, I love everything about it. The lines are really well done, and it's one of my favourites. So regardless, I think I just, you know, I'm not mad, even if I did. The sternum is extremely painful, like incredibly painful, because it's actually just bone. So I would say definitely a 9 or a 10 out of 10 for the sternum. If you're gonna get your chest done, just brace yourselves, because it's ugly, it's ugly. And I have never ever, apart from one time on my back, had any sort of numbing cream or numbing spray. I was kind of one of those people that's like, if you can't handle the pain of a tattoo, you shouldn't have a tattoo. Because I was a little asshole. But honestly, I didn't believe in it, I didn't want it, and I sat through it, and I probably should have gotten something, but I don't know if it would have really helped, to be honest, because the pain was disgusting. So just brace yourself. That's a definitely 9 or 10 out of 10. I also wanted to just pop in here and add what kind of pain it was. And so if you're getting your chest tattooed, just know that the sternum kind of makes you feel sick, and you can really feel it in your throat. So in that kind of way, I feel like it's one of the worst kinds of pain that I've personally have experienced when getting tattooed. Not to turn anyone off, but just be prepared. So on the left side, right next to my snake, is my priest on fire, and I absolutely love him. He is just so fucking cool. It's basically a priest, and he's got a hand that was supposed to be holding a cross, but then I thought that was just going to be too far with my parents being religious, and I kind of didn't want to like disrespect anyone. So instead of him having a cross on fire and sort of like preaching, he's just got, I think, his hand up like this or like this, and it kind of just, you know, he's like on fire and he's like dead, and he's fucking cool. And it says a wasted life is worse than death. Didn't really hurt at all. I'd say 4, maybe a 5 out of 10. And then right next to my snake on the other side is my panther, and I absolutely fucking adore this piece. I actually wasn't planning for it at all. I went in, it was something that I was planning to get, but not just yet. I went in for a small piece of script that I ended up getting like a while later, and the girl who was doing it, the tattoo artist, was like, oh, like another girl just kind of like cancelled on me, and now I've got a 3-hour window, I can't believe she'd do that. And I was like, oh, you've got a 3-hour window and you don't know what to do with it. Do you want to like tattoo me? Like, I've got some cash and I don't really know what I want, but I've had this idea where it was like a traditional American panther, and I kind of want a dagger in it. So yeah, I think it just kind of goes together, and I just absolutely love it. I think it's so badass. And I would say that one, just because it kind of goes kind of high up to my collarbone, and like onto my shoulder, I would say that was a little bit more painful, maybe like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. And you will see that like a lot of my tattoos, generally just I got them done because I think they look fucking mint and like badass, and like they make me feel so confident. There is some that have some stories behind them, but generally I don't think I'm one of those people where it's like you have to have a meaning behind something, because how many things do we do every single day that don't have a meaning? We just do them, or we do them because we find it beautiful, or we do it because it makes us feel confident. So I feel like even if technically it doesn't have a meaning, the meaning behind it is that it made me blossom into the person that I am today, and I just feel really confident and I love it so much and I find it beautiful, and that's the meaning behind it, is that I like it. Now the next one that I have is this little piece of script. Where is it? Here we go. This piece of script, and it says, God is in her and she will not fall. And it's basically, that's literally what it says. I'm pretty sure it's a psalm, and it's just one of those things where it really spoke to me, it really clicked. And as someone who kind of goes between being spiritual or like believing in, you know, the Christian God and just being spiritual and like not really knowing what she exactly believes in, but she knows she believes in something, I just thought it was really beautiful, and it kind of like motivates me a lot. So I really love that one as well, but I always forget that it's there because it kind of gets lost with the barbed wire. And that one wasn't painful at all. It was probably like a 2 out of 10 because it just went so fast. It does kind of get uncomfortable once you're right on the bone here, or like sort of towards the shoulder, so it kind of gets uncomfortable, but I wouldn't say it's to the point where it's like nope, or like I need cream or anything like that. You'll be fine. It's kind of like a 2 out of 10, and on the bone it's like a 5, so it's not too bad. The next one of course is barbed wire, and the barbed wire I would say it's probably a 6 out of 10 just because it was on my collarbones and it was quite painful, and the meaning behind it is that I'm a bad bitch. I just thought it was cool, and I also thought that it would kind of beautifully link these with this one because I got this one done first, and then there was just like a gap here, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's just put some barbed wire in there, why not? And of course my angel tattoo, which I adore. I think it's so cute. It's not done yet because it's gonna probably, you know, kind of have to be blended in with like a throat piece and like things here, but so far for now it's kind of like odd because it's just kind of there, but it's okay, we're working on it. We've still got our whole lives to, you know, to work on this bit, so it's fine. Again, it just makes me feel really, really cute and like badass and like confident, and you know, kind of this juxtaposition of looking like this and being tattooed and then calling yourself an angel. It's like, you know, I knew I was going to forget about one of them. Like, I just knew it was going to happen. I thought I did really well actually, but another one that I completely forgot on my chest here is blueberries, and I just got them as kind of like a filler between my nipple tattoo and the rest of my chest. And as I said before, on my nipple I just have a heart around my areola, and that's also the nipple that I have pierced and kind of modified, and I just thought it kind of completed the look, and I really, really love them both. I love my chest. I think it's really fucking cool. And then I've got this dagger here, and once again, I don't know what it is with me and knives, like I like them. So I would say overall for this whole area here, I would probably say it's like a 3 out of 10. I didn't feel it at all. The tattoo artist was like, does that hurt? Is it too much? Do you want me to stop? And I was like, no, keep going, like it's absolutely fine. So I'm not sure if I'm just weirdly have like a high pain tolerance in like different places or what, but these two were absolutely fine. Perfectly fine. Now moving sort of to my back, I have this big, huge flower piece that was probably like one of the first tattoos that I've got, maybe third or fourth or something like that, and I sort of come to peace with it now that it's there, but I really don't like it. It's probably my least favourite one out of all of them, just because it's totally not my style. Like, I'm not a flower girl. I'm not sure why it's there. I wish I could cover it up with something, but then I'm like, I don't know, because if it just ends up looking like a big black blob, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because I'm just going to hate it even more. So for now I'm just leaving it. I will never ever ever laser any of my tattoos off, because that's just wasting money to me. I don't regret any of them, like to the point where I'm like, oh my god, I can't even look at it. And I've got a big like hate-love relationship with that one. I kind of think it's beautiful. I love how the colours are. I love how the red kind of looks like a painting. It's my best friend's favourite tattoo on me, so it's also like, oh well, a lot of people think it's nice. And I would say that one, whilst they're doing it, it's probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but the day after, when it starts kind of solidifying, and maybe like after all night of you not moving, maybe it scabs a little bit, whatever, the pain's disgusting. I couldn't actually lift my arm up because it was so bad in the shower as well. It's really painful, and you can't really reach it when you're moisturising the tattoo, so I had to get someone to like help me with it. So it's a bit of like a pain in the ass, like just a little bit, and I would probably say the aftermath pain is worse. I would probably say that's like an 8 out of 10. Now, I was one of those people who thought that like the first person I met and was in a long-term relationship with was gonna be my soulmate. I was with this person for 5 years, and I actually got the date that I met them tattooed on the back of my neck, along with some other very meaningful dates. And unfortunately that was just before I learned that the people who you think will never do you like that will in fact do you like that. So once he cheated on me with multiple people, I decided to get that covered up. And I thought the other 2 dates that are really meaningful to me, I can redo them somewhere else, similar to that Greek writing, and it's still in the waiting room somewhere. They're gonna be tattooed on me somewhere, just don't really know where or when, but I basically got a snake, because I love snakes, and some people are snakes and you shouldn't trust everyone. So yeah, but I kind of got it. I didn't want it totally to like cover the red writing, so the red writing kind of still shows in the snake's eyes, and I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, that one I would say, again, not very painful, probably like at all. I'd say maybe like a 3 out of 10. And then of course my favorite, probably maybe, oh, I've got so many favorites I can't decide. My head tattoo, my scalp tattoo. I was getting my head shaved underneath for a long time, like probably since like the end of secondary school, like maybe first year of college, so a long time, like almost 10 years, like ridiculously long time. And then I started growing it out, and then I would like shave it again, and I was like, do you know, it'd be fucking cool if I got some ink in there, so then I could just make up my mind and never try to grow it out ever again. So that's exactly what I did. I went to my tattoo artist and I was like, show me some of your flash, show me some of your like ones that you love the most and one that's just fucking cool. And he was like, that one. So I was like, stick it on the head. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. He was like, you're gonna have to shave your hair. I was like, it's already done, just buzz me. And he was really pumped to do it, and I was really pumped to do it, and it turned out perfect. I love it. The pain, I would say, on the actual skull, like on the scalp, is not bad at all. I'd say like a 4 out of 10, but then the lower down you go, kind of where your head like meets like the neck here, that's really painful, and I would say that's like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. Again, not like unbearable, but just not very comfortable. On my hand, it's this little bee. I'm also going to show you some pictures, and actually this is a cover-up. It used to be a heart, however the tattoo artist that did it didn't do it very well. You can't really see it on these pictures that I'm going to show you, but he basically went in too fast and too deep, and so half of it kind of spilled, half of it was kind of wonky, and it just wasn't very good. I went back in a few weeks time once it was healed, and I was like, hey, I'm here for a cover up, and they were like, oh, what do you need covering up? And I showed them, and they went, oof, and they went, you did that? And they were like, oh my god, did we really? And I was like, yeah, it was one of your artists, like, can you see why I need it covered up? And they were like, yes, oh my god, of course. So we just covered it up. The tattoo artist wasn't very keen on it being over 3 fingers, but then I was like, no, it's fine, like, if it comes out fucked up, like, that's how I want it, like, I take responsibility. So he was like, alright then. And then I went back a few weeks later to get another piece, and he was like, how did that heal? And I was like, perfect, like, I'm actually really surprised. And he was like, oh wow, I'm surprised too, I really expected it to just fade or maybe like leak out or anything like that, but nothing. So I actually think it's really cool. It's been years at this point, still it has not faded like almost at all, even though I wear rings here all the time, I wash my hands all the time, but it just hasn't kind of got ruined like at all. So I absolutely love it. I think it's so cute, and it'll probably be a start to a sleeve later on. I want it to be like bugs and creepy crawlers all around my hand, so hopefully that, you know, can be a start to that one. And that one's probably like a 2 out of 10. Then my last tattoo is this beautiful dog that I got done earlier on, I think this year or very end of last year, I can't really remember. The girl who did it as well, she was like, I love doing portraits of animals, and I'm so kind of pumped that like you chose something that's not like a family pet, so it kind of looks dangerous instead of just like nice and cute. She was like, that's really fun for me to do. This is the first ever ink that I had to spray over with numbing cream because the pain was unbearable. I couldn't take it. It was disgusting. 11 out of 10, would not recommend. Blech. Okay, so now I'm gonna go over to Instagram and I'm gonna see what kind of things you want to know, what kind of questions have you guys asked, and hopefully I can sort of, you know, maybe clear up a few things or let you know more about my personal experiences or tattoos. So, first question that I got was, how old were you when you got your first tattoo? I was 17 and I got it done illegally. Please don't do that. Please wait until you're 18, because again, for me, I was just very lucky to go to an artist that was actually a really good artist, and ended up doing a lot of my tattoos later on in life. But I could have gotten a lot less lucky and have gone somewhere that's not professional or hygienic, and it could have ended in a disaster for me. So just wait until you're old enough. What is your absolute favourite tattoo? I would have to say the erotica and the not yours comes first, my scalp comes second, and then kind of my chest third, I would say. So, do you have any experience tattooing over scars? Was it more painful? I do have experience, very limited experience. Basically, the only scars that I have was from the 2 derma piercings, and they're here because I don't know if I told you, but yeah, they did eventually just pop out. It didn't hurt or anything like that. They literally just grew out and then they scarred over. So the snake covers the scars. It didn't hurt anymore. Again, I'm not sure how it would be with people who have like large scars and tattooing over those, I'm not sure, but mine were perfectly fine. It didn't hurt anymore in my experience. What are your tattoo plans? My plans are to finish off my tummy, finish off my back, and then start spilling over to my shoulders and my external limbs, my arms and my legs basically. I just don't want to start kind of new places and then walk around with big gaps. I kind of want to like finish off one piece and then, you know, have it all like filled and then move on to another part of my body. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can save up for a little bit, maybe next year or whenever this shitstorm's over, I can start a new project and I can, you know, slowly get more and more and more. Your most painful tattoo? 100% the dog on my back. It was absolutely horrible. That's the first one. The second one, I would say my sternum. Just really not nice. And the third one, maybe possibly your lower stomach, but all of my pieces down there are kind of small, so I didn't really get to like experience just how painful it can be, because it was kind of like 5 minutes then it was over, but those 5 minutes were like ugly. If you had to erase one tattoo, which one would it be? If I had to, it would be the flowers, but in terms of like, do you want to really? Not really, I'm not really bothered about it, but if someone was like, hey, I can click my fingers and they'll be gone, pick one, I'd be like, that one. Just because it's so also massive that it would give me a lot of space to work with, and it would just like free up a lot of space on my back, and I would love that because it's just more opportunities to get more ink. What happens when you have to have surgery where you have a tattoo where they need to operate on? I'm not a doctor, obviously. You would probably need to speak to your doctor, but I have seen online and just around the internet that they can either go around the tattoo if they need to make an incision, or they're just gonna go right through it. It it doesn't, as far as I know, kind of like have a really bad effect on the surgery or anything like that. Again, speak to a doctor obviously, but I have seen some pictures where they have gone right through the tattoo and kind of misaligned it a little bit, or somewhere where the surgeon actually went around so that it didn't damage the tattoo too bad when it was scarring. What's a tattoo style that you highly dislike? Personally, again, this is just my opinion, I am not big on coloured tattoos just because they don't suit me, but I think they look beautiful on other people. And also cartoon style tattoos, not really my thing. Super hyper realistic, kind of like the machine ones that kind of like, you know, it's like it looks as if like your skin's ripped and you've got like fucking Iron Man underneath. Not really for me either. And also I wouldn't say that that's not like a style, but the ones that everyone has, because I just feel like there's so many opportunities, different styles and possibilities out there. And you know, the signature fuckboy tattoos, the dove, the rose on the hand, the lion face, the half sugar skull, half woman, or half something and half woman. Don't really like that, just because I feel like if you've already got the money to do that, so many possibilities, so many different things. And if I was a tattoo artist, I'd be really fucking tired of seeing those kind of ones. Same with like the clocks, you know, like the stopwatches and pocket watches and things like that. I'm just not a fan really. But again, if you love it, you do you. Who am I to tell you? There's loads of people who say my tattoos look shit, but like, who cares? You do what you love. Why did you get most of them on your chest? What was the first one you got? The first one that I got on my chest was my snake. The first one I got in general was the little plane, and I got them here because I wasn't sure if I wanted my pieces to be on show, because what if I didn't like them in 10 years time? And also my parents were not fans at all of tattoos, so it was a good place to hide them. But I am really happy that I started off here, or kind of on my torso in general, or my back. I just think that it's a really nice sort of way to go in, and then if you are sort of ready to have a design where you're like, yes, I absolutely love it, I want the whole world to see it, then you can go on and get it on your arm or your leg or whatever. But yeah, personally I just started off here, and that's kind of how it just kind of happened. The wire under your angel tattoo, I don't know why, but I find it concerning. Like, are you okay? Yes, I am okay, thank you. I'm not sure why you'd find it concerning. It's barbed wire. Do you get concerned if you see barbed wire like in a city or in a field? Honestly, I love it. One of my favourite ones. Do you have any stick and poke tattoos? If so, what is the pain level compared to normal? I do not actually have any stick and poke tattoos. I would also love to like travel around the world and get like tattooed by all different people around the world, with all different kinds of techniques and styles. I would absolutely love that, but unfortunately I have no idea. I never got one of them, so I can't help you with that one. How to heal shoulder tattoos while wearing a bra? Is it impossible? I don't wear bras. I haven't worn one probably 6 years now, but my personal advice to you would be not to wear one. If it's kind of on the back of your shoulder, wear one without straps, or maybe wear one of those that like stick onto you and you can like pull them and they like give you much support, or maybe even sports bras rather than those little straps ones, because in my experience, or in my opinion, again, talk to your artist, but in my opinion I would say that yeah, it will probably not heal properly, or it will kind of scratch the surface of the skin, and maybe you can lose pigment in that area and things like that. So I would just maybe bear that in mind. Maybe if you can wear a sports one, or like a stick-on one, or a strapless one for the first like 3 weeks or something, I would do that. Or maybe just ask a tattoo artist. That's probably the best thing to do. Okay, so that is all of the tattoo advice, tattoo questions, tattoo tour that I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. Share any of your knowledge down below. If you're a tattoo artist, maybe you can answer any of these questions better than I can. Again, I'm not a specialist, I'm not a tattoo artist, I'm just a collector, someone who likes it, someone who gets it done often, someone who's interested in it. So yeah, thank you guys so much. It is the 31st today. I hope you have a wonderful new year. I hope 2021 brings us a lot more happiness and money and success and family and love and all the things that you might also think are important. I hope that you get all of that. I hope that you have a wonderful new year. Hope that you had a really wonderful Christmas. I love you guys so much. Stay hydrated, drink your water, eat your fruit and take your meds, and I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye!